Hey everybody, what's up? It's Thursday on Ohio Trans Kings. I have no fucking clue what week it is. It's 11:24 p.m. and I realize that it's Thursday and I have to make a video. So, sorry, so late for all y'all that were waiting, patiently anticipating. I'm a little behind schedule, but still on time. So this week's topic is testosterone. Essentially, for those of us who are on T, the effects of T that we have experienced and whether or not they were what we expected, anticipated, etc. So I am coming up on 4 years on T. In September, it'll be 4 years that I've been on T. And for me, the most immediate change was after my very first shot, I no longer had a period. That stopped right away, which was actually really cool because I had always had, regular periods. They weren't, I didn't really have any, really heavy issues, or, I didn't have, issues with a long period or really heavy or anything like that. It was just normal, regular, and, you could set a watch by it. So that stopped after my very first shot, which I hear is relatively atypical. So that's awesome. After about the first 2 months, two and a half months, I started to notice facial hair coming in that was noticeable to people other than myself. I think when you first start T, you are so hyper aware of your own body so that you notice every little thing that changes and other people have no idea. So after about 2.5 months, I started to get the mustache and more facial hair. Body fat redistribution started probably about 6 months. I wasn't very good as far as documenting my voice or just my overall physical appearance and physical shape after starting T, because I wasn't really all that interested. I was just trying to live my life, and I didn't necessarily have any interest in documenting my changes on T. So I don't have any pictures or anything. I don't have any pre-T, any specific pre-T and post-T pictures. As far as my voice deepening, that started to happen also pretty quickly. I know that it dropped significantly because I have been singing all my life, and I went from being a soprano to a tenor baritone. So it's definitely dropped. I would like it if my speaking voice was a little bit deeper, because every now and again, I got ma'amed at a Burger King a couple weeks ago, and my girlfriend was pissed. She's like, "What the fuck? You're a boy. That bitch is blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, it's okay. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. They don't, they're not really paying attention. So I sometimes wish that my speaking voice was deeper, but if I think about it, I can lower my voice, and it's not a big deal. As far as other changes, hair has sprouted up on my arms. It's starting to creep down my hand. My legs are a little bit hairier. I haven't really sprouted a caveman or anything like that, but I'm a little bit hairier than I was before. I have some chest hair. My stomach is pretty hairy. That's really it. Acne hasn't really been that bad. I think I've been fortunate. I didn't get my first pimple until I started T, and I didn't know what the fuck it was, so I was freaking out. But yeah, I think I can count on one hand how many times I've had any type of bump or breakout or anything. So that hasn't been super bad, and I think that has a lot to do with, just plain old genetics. Not necessarily anything that I'm doing differently. Some of the other guys, Rory in particular, was talking about weight gain, and I would say that on T I have gained probably 30 to 40 pounds, and honestly I haven't really been doing much to try to lose it. my girlfriend and I are going to try to start getting back into our healthier eating habits and becoming more active. Just got a dog, so that makes it a lot easier to go walking and running and things like that, because you just take the dog along. It doesn't look like I'm fat. I think I'm a little chunky, but you know, in my clothes I just look like a normal build dude. So
that's kind of nice. And as far as genital growth, definitely bigger in that area. I would say that hard. First of all, I don't pump. I tried it. I can't find, like, by the time I got to the point where I wanted to try pumping, you know, I have to actually buy a pump because none of the little makeshift things will work because of my girth. So, if that tells you anything, definitely a lot bigger there. When I'm hard, I'd say I'm probably close to 3 inches, if not more. I don't measure, like, that's weird. But I would say that's my very good estimate. So yeah, I am planning on having a histo at some point, hopefully within the next 12 to 18 months, because I want my girly parts to go bye-bye because of increased, you know, risk in that particular area, and risk for cancer, that is. And I am planning on being on testosterone for the long haul. I'm sure that at some point my levels, you know, my levels are pretty normal, and you know, I can go, you know, my endo has even made it so that I can go up to 3 weeks without having a shot, which is fantastic. Helps my supply seem to last longer. But as far as like long haul, I'll probably end up being on T for the rest of my life. I don't mind a little shot. As I get older, I may switch to, you know, and as I get older and I don't have to take as much, I may switch to, you know, the patch, or probably the patch, or maybe even the implant. But I am planning on being on T probably for the rest of my life, if not for at least the next, you know, hopefully 50 years. Alright, so next week, one of my favorite topics, tranny chasers. So keep tuning in to Ohio Trans Kings. Make sure to check out my personal video, Transman34, personal channel, that is, Transman34, and tune in every day to the rest of the guys, and I will see y'all next week. Peace out. Adios. Hasta luego. Bye.